The whole of creation exists in you, and it is your destiny to become increasingly aware of its infinite wonders and to experience ever greater and grander portions of it. The kingdom, the entire creation of God, your I Am, is within you.
Now all of this is based upon flat earth. And if flat earth is something you don't want to deal with, then you can never reconnect with your ancestors. Well, if your ancestors were flat earthers and they had a certain viewpoint of the cosmos and a certain conception of the cosmos, and you can't see the cosmos through the lenses of your ancestors, you can't fully connect with their reality. Because in other words, you don't even see things their way. And you want to know why they don't want you to know the shape of the earth? Because they don't want you to know how to generate energy. You're looking at our one earth. But there are many of these torus fields within torus fields.
And this is the paradigm of all spiritual traditions, that we are immortal souls, temporarily incarnated in these physical forms to learn and to grow and to develop.
Seek the truth from within.
The way it is to be done is by trusting yourself, trusting your intuition. Reject authority. Authority is a lie and an abomination.
You guys have severed your connection with spirit.
You have to be able to empty the mind of what came before. This is what the Holy Guardian Angel is about. You quiet the mind, you extend trust to creation.
Creators/players, meaning the makers of the simulation actually coming into their own game. These polarities that govern this place are evidence that we live in a battery. If you lived inside of a battery, you would be lived inside of this energetic sort of ocean that'll be governed by the laws of duality, which would mean negative and positive.
See, every situation that you get into has something to teach you.
If you live inside of a battery, you would be governed by the laws of negative and positive, cause and effect, what they call good and evil, God and the devil. This polarizing aspect will be ever present, and that ever present law of duality is what they call the demiurge. And if you look at the demiurge, you can see that it indeed represents polarity, night and day, sun and moon. This is the serpent on the tree that gave duality, the secret. See, when the serpent spoke to the humanity, it wasn't a real serpent speaking. When our ancestors unlocked the secrets of how to make an electromagnetic energy field, the energy field itself told them everything they needed to hear about how the universe worked. The serpent didn't give them the knowledge of good and evil. It gave them the knowledge of negative and positive so that they can be like God and empower themselves. The alternate realities of good on the left and the alternate realities of bad on the right. They all spiral around the central self.
It's a form of energy. That's what all of the occult ultimately is teaching us, how to work with energies within creation.
You know, everybody's come into this life to find their meaning of being here. That's what Carl Jung also talks about, you know, the meaning of being, finding the meaning in the being. And how do we find that meaning without knowing the soul itself? The soul is the essence of all of it. And once you're able to untangle the cobwebs around that beautiful lotus flower, that wise soul, it knows everything. The soul knows everything. It's the wisdom, and it's the child, you know, and it's hinted in the Bible, you know, the Son of God, the Son as in the sun, the light. Because we're all suns, we're all stars, sisters, brothers, it's all ending with ARS, stars, because we're stars, and then we're suns. We're the sons of God. That includes women and men together. Suns, as in shining lights, as in if we don't see that we are divine in ourselves.
Who we really are.
Yeah. And once we know who we really are, you know, you can't be the expression of spirit in the material world, in matter, without being individuated. You've come here to be a unique expression of the divine, you know, of that source.
Once you embrace the darkness, you're going to see the light.
Will we make the changes the world is hoping for? Only when we live from within ourselves is there any hope for world peace, or any hope for security, or the restorations of the dignities of integrity and honesty. These things must move from the level of man's internal.
This is a spiritual warfare going on.
But you gotta have the eyes to see it.
The only way to know is to see. The only way to know is to know. The only way to know if humanity can handle certain levels of information from their own experiences, recorded from their own DNA, from their own ancestral stuff. The only way to know if they can actually handle an upgrade, right? Again, these quote unquote illusionary outer regulations that we perceive as outer, but this is really an inner conversation. The only way to see is to push the being to the limit.
The world cannot exist without this beingness. The beingness is the womb of the world. When you can observe with detachment, then you come to the place of beingness. Start to observe the beingness itself.
All the darkness in the world cannot extinguish the light from a single candle. Like the candle, we are the light in this world of darkness. We will not diminish, we will not be extinguished. We shine out the dark.
You now rest in this.
You're the observer. You are observing this experience.
No darkness can extinguish your light. The darker it gets, the brighter we get.
The mystery can be unveiled.
And that's why love is called an emotion, because what is love? It's invisible, right? It's energy in motion, emotion. Love is just ether in motion. We return to that energy.
That soul, buddy, that's up under there, gon' head back home. And home is a mirror.
It's all the same. It's all you.
You enter the zero. That's the portal to get in here. And then you enter as the one. You become one, the bridge of alchemy, and you become the star.
Basically a ripple effect. And look at what's around your body. Each of these spheres, planet spheres around your body is a universe that you are in. All right? Each of those bubbles within bubbles represent a world that you are in. And that's what this gentleman represents at the middle of, he's the consciousness that's at the middle of his universe, trying to strip through the layers, meaning the bodies, to reveal the true self, which is that bright white light in the middle of the brain. And that'll be the sun and moon inside of his simulation. That light, you're inside. Guess what? Guess what's spinning the sun and moon around outside? You is. You is. And I'm going to show you how you're doing it right now. This is how every one of us spinning the sky. You spinning your sky, I'm spinning my sky. And when we stop spinning it, we die. We leave this bitch. Because what's allowing you to be here is you spinning your own dong cocoon. The consciousness is not the beetle on the outside, it's the one on the inside. See, when this beetle on the outside gets so tired, well, it can't push the ball no more. By then, your new version of been woke up. The higher self is carrying the lower self, and we all carrying our own load. When you wake up out this ball, the higher self won't even need to be there no more. He'll die. Because the version that's coming out of that ball gonna be the new higher self. But it can't be the higher self till it wake up and wash that shit up off it. And by the time it do that, it can only be one God.
You've fallen for the veil of separateness. You are you and they are them. But the best way to connect everyone together in one and realize they are one presence and remain grounded in one presence is by realizing that the heart space, and you may have heard this before, but the heart, love is the answer. The heart space is where each and every one of us universally meet, universally connect, universally join together effortlessly. The heart brings no problems. The heart is where we can all connect and return to our oneness. Because it's when we're in our heart space, we can look at somebody crying on the side of the road. And in that moment, there is a natural intelligence within you, in the heart, that knows deep down. Your mind doesn't think this, but your heart knows deep down. You hurt for them because they are you. You felt those tears before. You may not be crying over the same reason, the same meaning as them, but the pain, the loss, whatever they have felt, you have felt. Maybe not to as severe of a degree.
Every answer we seek is within ourselves.
And that's the only thing fluctuating. Maybe we're not feeling things, as heavy as others, but make no mistake, the heart is where we connect because we're all feeling emotions the same. We're all feeling feelings the same. And again, to different degrees, some people are more passionately angry, some people are more passionately happy, so different degrees. My point is, eliminate all personality traits, and what do you have left? We're all the same presence, we're all the same beingness through the heart, because we're all able to feel the same things. How is that possible if we're different people? We're all feeling the same things, we can feel the same emotions. Where we get separated is the mind. The mind looks at other people and tells you, that's not me, that's not my problem, that's something else, that's someone other than. The mind is responsible for all separateness. The heart is where you connect, and where you connect all things, all people you love. So that's something to look into. The greatest catch is even you are a stranger to you.
You have to be able to connect the dots and understand the inner workings of the universe. Like, there's no luck involved. This is about really being disciplined and developing your psychic faculty, right? You're coming back to yourself. You're reclaiming your power.
It's important to stay current to all of these narratives, all of their weapons. I truly believe no weapons formed against us could truly harm us. We are a mortal being in this avatar.
A creator experience in its own creation. Seeing a big picture is the macro, and that's the ancient cosmology.
That's what magnetism is. It's pure positivity.
It's the ether. It's the love.
We are actually timeless. We are unique personalities, dynamic, having lived through multiple timelines, multiple simulations, and multiple time periods. And this information becomes a part of our auric field. This information is absorbed into our auric field, and it becomes one with us. So when this simulation collapses, we're going to take things from here of genuine value, because they have been absorbed not into our avatars, not into our brain, which is nothing but a neural link between the psyche and the simulation. We have absorbed them holographically into our very essence. They become us. All these experiences, the negativity, the positivity, all our interactions, all of our discoveries, everything we've experienced emotionally, the good we've done, the evil we've done, we take these on, they become a part of our immortal soul. When the simulacrum collapses, every bit of this now becomes our eternal inheritance, because God never stopped creating. And the simulacrum, the existence of the simulacrum, only infers the existence of something greater. This is just a containment field, and it was a containment field to do things in order for us to build that maturity, to build those experiences, so that when we receive a real inheritance, we're going to value it 100%.
I don't think you can spiritually bypass any of this shit with love and light anymore. Those days are done. It's game time, baby. This is the best time. It's no longer theory. It's conspiracy reality. It's applied.
Raising our vibration is literally just raising our consciousness. The higher self is projecting the lower self into the underworld. And the higher self is the true light. You are on a spiritual journey of self-discovery. The ancestors was basically saying, we're multi-dimensional. This is what we really are. This is what the soul is, and you're the soul. You're the morphogenic field. You're not the body.
It's all part of a big, grander symphony.
All you can do is progress.
It's just a game. That's the game of life.
This field is what they personified as the higher self, the God self. You will live out heaven on earth before you live out heaven in heaven. Let me say that again. You will live out heaven on earth before you live out heaven in heaven.
Choice, free will, that's the purpose of life. That's the only power we have, is that small split second, and the choice that we make of yes or no, love or fear, give or take. And the way to make better choices over and over is to apply that information and that wisdom and learn from your mistakes.
Don't worry, don't try to stop it, but don't hold on to anything.
Co-creatively, we're the conductors.
To symbolize ascension. So the vortex energy that's being recycled up and down your spinal cord, you can use it as an elevator to project your consciousness into the heavens or down into the pits. Because what's happening around your body and through your body right now is really what's happening at the North Pole. And it's a connection point within you that connects you to the North Pole. So we don't have to physically take a trip to the North Pole. We can meditate to go there too.
And I think we're coming into a new age of consciousness and a new age of truth.
And that's what this science was all about. So when you look at this Kundalini energy fluctuating through and around the body, look at it like an elevator system like this. See, because you are not the body. You are the light inside of the body. That's the observer. That's the one having the experience. And you can leave your body because you're the light, not the body. And you can take a cosmic elevator that's within yourself. This little light right here in the brain can hitch a ride on the Kundalini right here and use it like an elevator. You see what I'm showing you? Once it takes the elevator down to the root chakra, it's like a bullet getting loaded up in a clip ready to get shot off. When a person go in meditation, the light inside of the brain up here, I know they said you want to work the energy up the Kundalini, but first you work it down. You calm what? You don't calm up. If I tell you let's meditate, the first thing they gonna tell you to do before you talk about any Kundalini shit is calm down. Calm down is telling the soul to come down from its ladder, from its high horse. The soul is in a high place and it's stuck in the brain. And the only way the soul can launch itself out the body is like how a bullet got to launch itself out the gun. It got to be put back first. So for the bullet to go up, it got to get put back first like a rock inside of a slingshot, ready for takeoff. So when you meditate, you calm down. You're literally coming down. The mind is coming down to the root. See, when the mind comes down, this whole serpent is getting pressed together like a spring in a gun when you cock it back. As the mind journeys down from the brain to land at the root, these serpents are getting pressed and compressed like a spring. And when they get to the root and when it's time to release the Kundalini, boom, take off like a rocket. Those serpents, right, they release the spring energy, and that's how we take off. You don't just burst right out the brain. You go down first, then you go up. That's what they were saying about Jesus. Jesus had to go down first before he went up to heaven. That's a law of the universe. If I tell you to jump right now, you got to bend your knees. If I say jump, you're going to bend down first. So when we jump into these other dimensions, the soul bends down first. That's what prayer was about. That was a spiritual action. It had nothing to do with your body taking a knee. It was talking about the soul. And I can prove it to you. Look. The Titan represents the soul. Our universe is basically a ripple effect. All cultures talked about it. Each one is creating their own simulation, like each caterpillar creating their own cocoon. And the portals around you that's blowing your auric energy around the body out them trumpets. You're a musical instrument. That's what you are. This circle represents the earth. And this point leads back to Polaris in the sky. Polaris is the light that's projecting our entire holographic existence down here.
Images we have of the star trails of the North Pole. That cannot happen unless we are firm, and that is moving.
You enter the television screen and that's life. It's Earth. All the world's a stage.
The people who are in charge of governments and stuff, all they care about is controlling people, making sure you do what they want you to do. Every single system, all of them are corrupt. The judicial system's corrupt, the medical system is corrupt, the financial system's corrupt. It's all corrupt. It's all a matter of who you are. The Matrix is trying to control your mind. They're very good at it. That's what they do to control all of us. You have to break the trap. If you cannot control your own mind, let me make this point because it's extremely important.
All of this energy is a call to action here on Armageddon.
Whole thing's a fucking scam. The education system's a scam. The judicial system's a scam. The medical system's a scam. Look at these last few years. You're living in Canada. You haven't learned that everything's a fucking scam? All of it.
If you're ignorant, you're willfully ignorant at this point. We all have the information now. Everything you watch, everything you see is about a grand conspiracy, and it's just waiting for you to become the hero, the same one that you're cheering on. So I hope people realize that all of this that's supposed to indoctrinate us because they write themselves as the heroes. It's really about us.
Our world ain't what you think it is. It's a projection. And at the end of the projection point is what we call Earth. But Earth is literally the end of projected light. This the circle of the Earth right here. And everyone is projecting their own Earth with them in it. That's what this whole aura, if you take the word aura and put TH on the end, it's just Earth. And that's the word heart. That's what the Big Bang is. The Big Bang is when your soul gets free from the simulation, it's gonna be an explosion in the heavens. Because like I told you, it's like a cannon launch. A cannon. You was loaded into the simulation, and when you leave this bitch, it's like a bullet leaving the chamber. A big bang, boom. You see this dude, when he leaving up out of this tree of life, is like launching him up out of a cannon.
This revolution will be telepathic.
Learn how to escape. Most people are so deep inside of their programming. What did Morpheus say in The Matrix? Most people are so hopelessly dependent on the system they will die and fight to defend it. Most people will sit here and pretend that the world they live in is just and fair because they are fucking slaves. Slave-minded. And to break the slave mind, to truly resist the programming, you have to understand what's happening to you. And this is only the beginning. I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. But the basic answer to everything is you must control your mind.
You trapped in an ecosystem. They call it an ecosystem, but it's an ecosystem. Our egos is why we fell into this whole matrix. It's battling your ego and conquering it.
Your mentality is heavily linked to your reality.
This is now the revolution.
Our universe is separated into two parts, and Earth is in the middle, all right? Above is heaven, and below is what we call hell. Now, what exactly is heaven and hell? Let me show you. So check this out, and this is just my research I'm sharing with you. All of these little domes that you see up here, these are worlds. And in each of these worlds and universes is a version of you in each one. When you dream, these are the places you go to, alternate realities, above and below you. And they can exist right in the middle on the earth. There are multiple versions of you that are existing at the same time. And at any given time, you can conjure the vibe of any of those versions, being the higher selves or the lower selves. Now, you are the middle self. You exist in the middle of the heaven and hell in this middle part called earth right here, see? And in this part, good possibilities and bad possibilities play out. But remember, you are a fallen angel. You didn't climb from hell. You fell from heaven. We're fallen angels. We should be saying, well, what went down must come up. We're gonna resurrect. The demons are gonna say, what goes up must come down. We saying when we die, we must go back up to heaven. And according to the ancestors, nightmares take place in the underworld down here, and good dreams take place up here. And the dreamer resides in the middle of them both, where you can have good dreams or nightmares. And basically you got an angel on one shoulder and a devil on one shoulder. But for you to understand what demons are, you got to hear what I'm saying right now. Your demons are the worst versions of yourself, and they are alive right now. You cannot kill them. The only thing you can do is stay away from them and keep your consciousness striving toward getting projected in your higher selves. That's what's happening on earth. There's a war going on between angels and demons, and the angels on earth are regular people who make mistakes just like the demons, but the angels are striving to be greater versions of themselves. So you got two kind of people on the earth, some that's want to de-evolve and some that's trying to evolve on this high vibration of love, compassion, and all that. We're the devils and the angels, y'all. It's all different versions of you, because they forgot who they was. Let me show them who they ain't so they can rediscover what they was. What I'm saying is touching a part of you that ain't been touched in a while. Some of you ain't even know was there. And guess what? That's my purpose in life, to inspire and motivate you on a spiritual level. That's what inspire means. Inspire is spirit. Inspire, inspiration, to inspire y'all. Yeah, just to be your greatest self. This life is giving you your wings, man. This is where angels come to learn how to fly. You can look at this hellhole as flight school. This whole life is the process of earning your wings. But before this simulation, wings were just given away by God, and humans were never born in the simulation. There was no such thing as the simulation. You were born in a heavenly Asgard world as an angel. Wasn't no such thing as humans. Humans are fallen angels, and the earth only exists because we failed. This is what the religion was telling you. We didn't decode it the right way. We are Satan being casted onto the earth, and you lost your wings, man. And for whatever reason, the Hindus said your whole life is to teach you a lesson to get your wings back. That represent the prism. We trying to break out of this rainbow, man, so that we can just be clear. Why do you think they said clear your mind, clear your head, think clearly? Why? Cause clear means clean. All you got to do is trade the R with an N, and the word clear becomes clean. Cause a clean mind is a clear mind. Cause the goal is to be clear. That's when you free. The mind is clear, no stress. I know that sounds crazy, but literally that would translate to a better heart. Because the energy around your body is connected to the heart inside of your body. And that's what this whole symbol, look at what I'm showing you. In other words, your outer environment dictates your inner environment, as within, so without. That's what you see here, because the aura is connected to the heart. In other words, your outermost self have a bond with your most innermost self, and it go back to that polarity marriage. Outer and inner are opposites, but because they opposites and opposites attract, like sun and moon, the law of polarity, your outer and your inner is married. And that's how this electromagnetic field is giving birth to you. In the middle, you the child of that marriage. When the child is ready to grow up, he can break free from the parents. And that's when you no longer need this prison cell around you. That's when the light that's inside of this thing can go free. Because the war down here is a war of the minds.
You need to learn the difference between your thoughts and the thoughts that invade your mind, because that right there is going to be very instructive for you.
Taking back your own personal power, becoming sovereign in your own personal choices.
It's almost like disease starts on a mental and spiritual level before we even start eating anything, is what we think about ourselves and how we let others, what they think about us, affect us. You're in a living book, and if you don't fulfill the script on the pages, you will repeat it. That's why they want to get everybody off of their purpose and get you onto other shit. If time was a line, we wouldn't say stuff like history repeat itself. Time is obviously a cycle, a loop. And that's why the Mayas said we gotta break the cycle of time, because we are timeless creatures. We're immortal beings. What are we doing within time? When the true self exists outside of time, and that's the middle of the tornado. The Most High goes into a sleep, but it's still flying in the heavens though. But it projects itself downward to continue its journey. You as a star, the Most High. The ancestors said if you want to go to the North Pole, you travel to the center of yourself. When that baby grow up, it's gonna break through that doggone thing, and that's you uncovering the veil from over your eyes.
Be awake and open to opportunities as you go through life.
The only way out is in. It's all about the Taurus field, because this whole thing shaped like a volcano, and your last incarnation is when you erupt out the top of it. When the divine feminine is born out of the divine masculine, which is time or chronos. The mind when it's inside the body. But victory comes when the mind emerges from out the body. Your soul is reading its own script and fulfilling it inside of the book of life, which is a living book, a book that's literally filled with life.
If you realize over time that they have inverted everything, so you don't know how special and powerful you are.
The book of life. You're here to fulfill what's written. You wrote in this book before you was born a version of yourself that can see the whole universe. Now your whole purpose on this earth is to unlock your heart, because that's the way out. That's how you get out of Pan's labyrinth, fulfilling your purpose and will.
It's about looking at yourself and going within and saying, who am I? In my full spectrum.
With too much light, one is blinded. With too much darkness, one is unable to see. Through balance and harmony of both light and darkness, one is able to see with perfect clarity.
Who needs to come to you? You need to come to yourself, to internalize. You need to go inward.
All of these different versions of yourself surrounding this little middle guy at the middle. Now, whatever you do in this reality, it's a chain reaction, and the shit snowball downhill to all the other versions of you. Starts in the mind or the crown chakra. But your body in this realm is the central self, and whatever you do here, it then affects all the other realities. So you are everything in the alternate realities is being governed around your actions, what you do in this one. So in essence, the mind that you have in this world right now is controlling all the other versions of you in the alternate realms. Some people in this life are good people who don't really do a lot of wrong, but they go through a lot of evil shit. So they absorbing all that pain. And what I'm telling you is the way that worked for you is good. You use that for fuel to launch you forward. Everything that held you back in your life will propel you forward in the afterlife. This is the law of polarity, so that balance and justice can be served. So if people got over on you, if people cheated you, you were wronged in life and it was no justice, there will be justice in the afterlife. That's the whole concept of judgment and justice and liberty and all that. But we basically use all our painful experience to fuel our acceleration away from the underworld. It's almost like pulling back a bow on a bow and arrow to propel it forward. And the more you pull it back, the further it's gonna go. So if life holding you back, like the devils in this world wanna hold us down, hold us back, the stronger they hold us down, it's building up tension for our growth. So it's like pulling that arrow back so far, you got to let go soon, and you know that because you put it back that far, you done fucked up now. Because now when you let go, I'm gone. I'm gone now. When you let me go, I'm gone. When the devil give me an inch, I'ma take a mile, and I ain't looking back. That's how that's going. And he got to let go. And it's gonna, the mysteries of God will be revealed, or what they call a great revealing or revelation of the mysteries of God. That's when God, when you sit back in his throne, that's your grand homecoming back to Eden. When you're welcome, when we come, now we get reacquainted back with what we was before we failed. And it's gonna be a nostalgic moment, like, oh yeah, I remember, I am God, like what the fuck? So at the center of this whole universe is what the ancestors call God. So that would make you the queen bee, and that will make all your alternate personalities your drones or extensions of your mind, all inside of your hive. See this pyramid, you see here, your aura. See what's going on is what's surrounding you at all time is your guardians. See how that all of them guard in the middle queen bee? But see, all of this is your chakra layers. You watching your own back on a cosmic level. And that's how the queen bee doing. She can see what's going on outside the hive because she can remote view through any of them other bees. It's basically like she's the only one living in this hive, and every other bee you see is just an extension of her, literally. And this is what's happening on a macro level with us. So understand why this beehive and queen bee symbolism tie into our soul. You are the projected version of the higher self, the Christ sent down from the Most High. Meaning the Polaris is your light. You got your own Polaris just like me. And your Polaris is projecting your entire universe below, and with you in it. So everybody created this same, just we loaded this reality. We wasn't born per se on an earth. We started loading a simulation. We never left North Pole. No one leaves North Pole. We project our consciousness away from Eden, and that's how we get casted out the garden into the solar system. In the middle represents the hole at the middle of a CD disc. That don't lead to a song. That lead to the thing that's spinning the songs. Without that, ain't no sound, ain't no music called life. So when the song is done and the fat lady stops singing, you end up in the middle of the CD disc at 0 degrees, and that's where silence takes place. What's happening at the North Pole is gods are projecting themselves out of their throne down into the earth. That's what Jesus represents, the God in heaven going to explore its own creation. Each one of us is a God that created our own earth, our own self in it and everything, and we're all on our own time too. So everyone is bound within their own soul system and on a journey to master all of their karma in these incarnations according to the Hindu. And so every moment, the energy in motion is your emotional state, and that's the solar system around you, the spinal cord. It's these chakras are constantly in motion. That's because your body is a reflection of this electromagnetic energy, which is your consciousness, your soul, flowing in and around the body. See, when your energy flows through the body, that's called inspiration. In other words, each version of yourself in these alternate universes that are in proximity to this one, you feel the energy from them and they feel the energy from you. So this is the energy in motion, but giving you what's called an emotional state. And all of ours are different. And so this emotion or energy in motion can be synced to this right here, which is Yggdrasil. This tree is your spinal cord, and the serpent crawling up and down that tree is your kundalini. Now, all of these little worlds are the chakras. Those are the gateways that are levitating around you. Those are portals to other dimensions of yourself. And when you enter those portals, you end up in another world, in a dream, living out a whole nother life, man. And you don't even know you dreaming till you wake back up here. And we getting closer to this graduation. It's a gradual process up this stairway to heaven.
With symbolism, with truth.
You can't fear any of this. No stake in the outcome is the best way to look at this. You walk the path of the warrior, face infinity without flinching. So what's to fear?
All of these copies of yourself must die, just like Jet Li, the one, to the process of elimination, to only one is standing. That's what it means to be casted down, like light is casted. Satan is a holographic projection, that light that was casted down. When God is having a human experience of what we call life, that's why devil backwards is lived. We sandwiched in between the heaven and hell. That's why the ancestors said the earth is in the middle of the universe. And each one of us is in the middle of our own universe. All the same symbolism of you in between these two energy bubbles. This spinal cord kundalini highway up and down the middle of your being is splitting your energy inside of a dual reality. Or your left and right brain, demon on one shoulder, angel on another one. This spinal cord is what's creating the split, y'all. Every one of us, when we was born, the light was equivalent to a lightning strike that would have had the luminosity of Polaris. So each one of us is a North Star and a center of our own universe, just in every way, by way of being a star. That's what I'm telling you. They lied to you. They lied to y'all. We don't travel the stars. We travel as stars. We travel as stars. And that's becoming the omniscient, omnipresent God, the multidimensional self. And all of these systems gonna fail. Babylon gonna be destroyed. The part of you that was born, not the part of you that was indoctrinated. Because you started to die the moment you started learning they nonsense. We trying to resurrect you by taking that shit out of your head, so who you are can be activated. As above, so below, as within, so without. As within, so without. We already know that's a universal law. The knowledge that's gonna get us to the promised land and allow us ultimately to meditate on these words and symbols, and it's gonna do what it's supposed to do naturally. You where you supposed to be, and everything happening for a reason with our awakening together. That would be your heart chakra. Why you think they said let the heart be light as a feather? Cause that's the only way Christ can ascend from that point, so he can make it on up to the heavens out of the earth matrix. You see, this is what's going on in your spinal cord, them two serpents. Negative, positive energy, the angel on one shoulder, the demon on one. That's how we get in this auric field. Boom, but this is the knowledge right here that allowed us to become fallen gods as well. But the same knowledge that show how we fall will also show how we can get out. And that's literally what these chakra layers are. It's a maze around the body, and the way out is through each of the layers. Your body is the triangle, which is the prism, the prison. All the chakras inside of that are what you got to master. And that's why 6 is the number of man, because 7 is the number of God, which is the crown chakra. Once we break through this 6th chakra, which is the third eye, we're no longer human no more. We become gurus or gods, and we become outside the body, outlaws. We're outside of the law. The law exists in the body. The law represents the limitations of the simulation. This is the out-of-body experience that we're all seeking. You're basically saying, man, I want to get on my throne. I know I'm God. Our journey on this earth is us exploring the inner parts of our own ego and mastering it. So cracking the egg is breaking the ego.
You accept that you're actually everything, but it's not a logical acceptance. You have to feel and know that you're everything as you're going into the experience.
The Christ that's going to activate and resurrect out the heart. The ascension of the energy is at the heart. The energy in the crown is working its way to the heart. To ascend to the throne is to become light as a feather, and that is to strip away the flesh, because it's dealing with our soul. It was literally dealing with when consciousness landed onto the earth, the vibration of its fall became its chakra layers. What's happening in the heavens happening inside of each of us individually. Our soul having a human experience. So sitting back in that throne will give us back the power that we know we are. When God descended from the throne and incarnate on the earth, God's energy was shattered into 7 layers. Is God descending from the throne, breaking through the 7 seals, which are the 7 chakras.
Each of which needs conscious attention in order for a person to become truly themselves. There is a dream at the core of our life that ever tries to be born into the waking world. A unique dream that brought each of us to this time-bound realm. The way of the soul is descent. And that connects to the old idea that the underlying soul is the primal and primary source of meaningful change and true transformation. As the polarization and fragmentation of the world around us continues, soul is the missing ingredient that has to be found again. Spirit and soul can be seen as reflections of each other, with each being necessary for holding the life tension that sustains the living world. The way is made from both rising and falling, from ascent and descent. The inner self desires to live out the uniqueness of each of our experiments in life, which includes the heights of spirit, but also the depths of emotion and the vitality of the body. Ascending on the wings of spirit can wake us up and show us the way forward, revealing the purpose of our lives and the destiny that we are aimed at. Descent makes life genuine, makes it real. It brings spirit down to earth. It connects the pulse of the body with the wisdom hidden in the depths of the heart. Soul unites our life spirit with the souls of others, and ultimately with the soul of the world.
Get familiar with that steady, ever-present sense of being. You must wake up to the play, it's called a play. Abiding in this, keep your attention here. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, until it's so beautiful, you don't want to leave it.
Upward movement eternalizes, while the downward movement personalizes. And following that downward line, descent is the way of the soul from the very beginning. We each fell from the darkness of the womb of our mother into the light of day, and we were born by a specific gravity that pulled us to the earthly realm. Once we are grown up, we are supposed to start growing down again. The ancient intuition was that there is something of great meaning and purpose waiting to be found in the depths of each soul, so that a conscious descent aims at intensification of being and at moments of wholeness that not only reassure us but also renew and revitalize us, body and soul. In this way of descending downward and inward, something must be sacrificed. Everyone enters this world with an inner seed or spark, sometimes seen as a hidden gem or the philosopher's stone that is worth more than gold.
Now, first thing we got to do is deal with the sacred geometry. We live in a holographic universe, and that the source of the light of it all is being projected from Polaris into a perceived physical universe, just like I just explained. Now keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind. And they said that God is what the source of the light of the world, what's creating our holographic universe. This would be like the projection machine projecting a picture, and that picture would literally be life. They're saying that the one that's projecting it all would be like the dude that lives outside of the simulation. God exists outside of this bubble that man calls his reality. You notice that God don't exist inside of this world. The only way God can exist inside of this bubble is by projecting the true light of himself into the physical world. In other words, God only exists as pure light, but the so-called physical world starts to take that pure light of God and turn it into buildings and water and trees. And all of that stuff is just an illusion for real. Light projecting itself into a shape, but light don't have a shape. Light has no dimensions. Light has no mass until light is expressed into this dense world called Midgard. That if you want to activate your power, guess where you got to go? Inside.
It is nothing more nor less than seen with the eye of God.
No matter where our physical body at, our soul in the same place. Everybody is projecting themselves from the light of Polaris, and we all are fueling our toric energy from that source light. There's a source light at the North Pole, and everybody else is like a fucking mirror. And you being a mirror, you get to reflect the source light. When they say I'm made in the image of God, it's because I'm a mirror reflecting the light of God.
That the best mentor we have is our own spirit, our own consciousness itself, and we have to fine tune on how to tap into that.
There is only one presence.
One love.